Welcome back to Into the Hobbyverse. Today I'm really excited to build the Gunpla that I've been looking forward to for some time now. It's a real grade RX 1782 version 2 1144 kit. Now I've been dead excited to see how this is going to go. I've built myself up to this a little bit by doing some of the other kits. I'm going to go through it. I'll show you the build, and then at the end I'll give you my opinion on the kit itself, and we'll see if there's any real difference between what effectively is a high grade size and that real grade detail. Okay, so I'm excited for this one. This caught my eye at the local hobby store. We've got a company called Hobbycraft in the UK where my wife goes in there all the time. I went in there with her, had a look around some of the model section, didn't realise that they were selling Gundams. So this was a kit that I bought that got me back into the idea of doing Gundams and getting involved in it. I'd seen this whole new RG kit side, and my understanding is effectively it's the same size as the 1144s and effectively has the same kind of detail as a master grade kit, which is, yeah, it's intrigued me because it's obviously not the full commitment of getting a master grade kit. This thing cost me about, I think it was about £32 to £35 in Hobbycraft, which I didn't think was too bad either. I've heard really good things about it. This is supposed to be a kit that I think was out from last year, and so all the tooling and stuff is really, really good. It seems to be linked in with the 45th anniversary of Gundam as well. Yeah, I'm really excited for it. Let's unbox it and let's see what we get in the box with this one. Okay, so plenty of sprues to start off with. We've got some of the multicolored sprues there, and I can see some of the armor plates. Another set of sprues there. More armor plating. Even more sprues. Yeah, okay, so that's quite a lot of sprues there, so that's fine. And then we've got ourselves, put them to the side, we've got ourselves some instructions. Just have a look at that. So this is the instruction booklet. All the usual details really. Yeah, and still saying piece by piece. Instructions, they look quite clear as well. They look a bit better than the ones I've seen from some of the older models. So that's cool. Okay, and there's some pictures of, yeah, some of the finished items. That's cool. Yeah, I'm excited and nervous for this, so let's just break it down into stages and see how we get on. I think they are saying that the head, body units first. So let's get the body done, let's see where we get to with it. Right, very cool. So made the torso. This is really intricate. Far more intricate than any HG kits I've dealt with. And it kind of reminds me of like the PG Gundam effectively with in such a smaller scale. So it's really, really fiddly. But like here with this, you have got an area that opens up here in the chest section. I have made both the bottom part of the torso, which, sorry, you have to click this bit off at the back. There you go. So you unclip that bit at the back there, you unclip a bit at the back at the front here, and basically that's the bottom part of the torso, which is going to attach to the legs. And then the mid part of the actual torso itself is one of the like spacecraft effectively. So as you turn this, that pushes that part of the tail fin back. This opens out, and effectively that is a craft. But a level of detail in this, there's so many small pieces to it, but yeah, it took ages to do this, even this this small part. So basically, click that back there, put that there. Basically, it took me nearly an hour and a half to do it this far. This is clearly going to be something that's going to take me a bit longer than an evening to do, is the honest answer. And I underestimated that. But enough talking for now. I'll go on, I'll do the next stages. It looks like the head is the next stage. We'll get that part done. We'll see how much I can get done tonight, but I'm going to end up doing this over a couple of nights, I think, by the look of it. So yeah, let's see where we can get to. Okay, so head made. That is absolutely mega detail. This is far beyond what I was looking at the HG kits. I didn't think it was going to be this big a jump, to be honest. But no, really cool. Head made. The steps go on to make, I think, effectively the backpack section and the lower torso. So I'm going to carry on with that. Bottom part of the torso done. I think effectively is going to be setting up to do the legs, to be fair. Again, just loads and loads of detail. Each one of these is sort of like 2 parts. The colour on top as well, breaking it all up. Just the detail involved in it is, yeah, it's absolutely mega. So that goes on to there. That forms part of like the bottom torso skirt going over the legs. Yeah. It's took me so far just about 2 hours, I think, is where I'm basically at. Yeah, it's been mega, but I'm now at the point where I think I'm knackered, and I'm gonna knock it on the head for the night and do a bit more later in the week. So we've got arms to do, legs to do, and obviously all the weapons and stuff, but the level of detail is absolutely mega. Okay, so made the arms very, very fiddly, but the mechanics on these are really, really good. So there's loads of little tiny bits that go together to make it. Quite hard to see on here, but effectively it's 2 different colours of like white and grey, light grey plastic, and then a dark grey plastic. But the next stage then is the shoulder pads are made. I've got to try and thread these through whilst putting them on there. So that's one arm in, and then same for this bit. Grab the shoulder pad, effectively turn it round, put it through there so that the arm peg goes through, he says, and then the arm on. Oh, I've already had a piece fall off there. What was that? Oh, right, okay. It's a bit off the elbow. So, tiny little piece off the elbow there just fell off. It is really, really good. Very intricate. I'll have to get that back on in a sec. But yeah, really good. Loads of small little parts, but articulate it and just make it that little bit more dynamic. Really kind of impressed with how this goes together. It is time consuming. I think I'm about 3.5 hours in now, and we've made the top part. I think I'm starting to get the hang of how you make the kits. I'm not sure I'm going to be much quicker. I can imagine this is going to be at least a 5-hour build to get it to the point where weapons are made and legs are on. So see how we get on. Next stage according to this is the leg units. So yeah, we'll see how that goes, but yeah, thoroughly enjoying it so far. I'm really pleased with how that's turning out. The detail is ridiculous for a little 11404. Okay, so we've got torso made, legs both have been made now, so I'm gonna squish them on. I mean, the level of detail is just mega. Right, okay, so this is nearly finished now. I would say I've got a bit of time left to do some of the weaponry in bits and pieces. I'll put it all together, get it all posed up, show you some photographs of what it looks like, maybe a bit of video, and then give you my thoughts. I think with this one I'm probably going to do the panel lining, but I will probably do it effectively later on. I'll give you the lowdown on what this is like basically out of the box, and then I'll maybe show you some panel lining at a different point in time. This has been really enjoyable. I've really enjoyed all the engineering for it. It's taken me a long time. I think we're now at about, we're just short of 5 hours to create it, but the level of detail for such a small model is ridiculous. Right, let me finish everything off, I'll give you my thoughts. Okay, so building the RGRX 78-2 has been amazing, to be honest. It's one of those kits where I've been sort of wowed by the engineering of it all. As a small kit, I mean, trying to get an idea of the size. As a small kit, the level of detail and the attention to detail from the engineers is ridiculous. There's one thing to create a figurine that's at this sort of detailed. There's a completely different thing to be able to create an assembly instruction for something as complicated as this and make it as simple as possible. It's brilliant. Put short, this is the best modelling experience I've had with any kind of plastic kit. It's even in the detail of where you are snipping off and cutting off some of the plastic bits, and where these are then hidden by other bits that go over the top. I have been using, so I've used a pair of snips and a knife to do the majority of the work. I don't think I sanded anything. I'm pretty sure I haven't sanded anything for this. And that was enough really to get what is a fairly flawless finish. There are places where you can see little nub marks, tiny ones, but in all honesty, it doesn't detract from it at all because of the complexity of the kit and the size of it. You just aren't really going to see them unless you're massively looking for them or you're a perfectionist. Now, I'm trying to enjoy this hobby as something where I'm not being like that, and I'm trying to enjoy it for what it effectively is. So with this at the minute, I haven't even panel lined it. I am going to panel line it. I'll put some videos on to show the difference in panel lining it, but the videos that you're probably currently seeing are showing you basically what the kit looks like out of the box. And I think that's important to show that, because it's clear that people that are really, really good at modelling are going to be able to make these kits look fantastic. I'll be honest, for a basic kit at £30, this is absolutely ridiculous kind of quality and an amazing value, to be fair. Now, I'm going to panel line mine, but I think that's as far as I'm going to take it really, and I'm only going to panel line it because I've got that panel lining pen, and I quite like the effect that I had with my other one that I've done recently, the Barbatos. Barbatos. I kept saying that wrong actually in that video, to be fair. I've watched a couple of the anime now and it's a Barbatos. I don't know why I want to keep calling it Barbatos. Maybe I'm just thinking of Barbados.
Welcome to Barbados.
Yeah, as an experience of putting it together, it is second to none. This is the best model I've ever put together, to be fair. Yeah, I'm pretty happy saying that. I think in everything that I've ever built, I think this thing goes together the best, engineering wise, perfection, and instructions wise, very, very clear, easy to understand. If it was a mistake, it was my mistake for not paying attention to what the instructions said, even down to which order you put some of the parts on in order to cover them up. Brilliant. Posability, this thing is the most posable thing that I've ever had as well. Very similar in the way that the joints and stuff work to what I've seen the perfect grades and stuff work. So it's just a degree of flexibility that is there in such a small kit, which you just wouldn't expect. It certainly haven't got it from the HG Barbatos that I made the other day. It just isn't as articulate as this. These are absolutely brilliant, and all the articulation, whether it be from the waist, the arms, the head, there's varying degrees of the way that the head can pose. It's just absolutely ridiculous. But that's again a testament to the engineering, really. They've done that in such a way that they've made it's like a PG replica scaled down to 1/144. So yeah, posability, you aren't gonna have a problem with this. Even I, as a a barely competent Gundam poser, can pose it into some decent poses, and I'll show you that in the video clips. Value for money, I think I paid £33 for this from Hobbycraft over in the UK. Not sure what that equates to in dollars, but value for money, I just think that's ridiculously good. It's took me between 5 and 6 hours to build the model itself. None of it felt tedious, to be honest, but I broke that up into a couple of evenings. I kind of underestimated how long it was going to take me to make an RG. I kind of figured it was going to be similar to the Barbatus, where it took me about 2 hours to make the Barbatus. It wasn't too bad. This is far more intricate. That isn't a negative. To be honest, you're getting more value for your money out of this because it's giving you that bit more time in the model, and you're gaining that bit more experience. Having done one of these, I think if you were doing this as your first one, you might be a bit intimidated, but I would say you can do this as a first experience. If you've got some experience within models and you're not a small child, I think you could do this. You just need to take it slow. Take it piece by piece, read everything twice, cut everything once, pay attention to where the nibs and stuff are, and I think you'll be all right. A good technique for cutting some of these sprues off is to cut the actual item off the sprue a little bit further back from where the nub is, and then the way we've designed it, the actual gates for it where they allow the fluid in for the plastic are sometimes between the bits where it joins, and you can just quite easily snip them off and then like scrape that down with a knife. I think if you were younger and you were literally just using a pair of clippers, if you did a good job with the clippers, you would have a good result with it, and I don't think you'd be disappointed. They do seem to be used in different tones of the same colour of plastic. So for instance, where you've got grey bits on the model, it has got 3 different shades of grey, which is really cool because it's just adding that little bit of depth to the model itself as well. And that was really good, to be fair. The level of detail within arm joints and bits and pieces around movement is fantastic. The only negative I would have on this is that because it's so small, I think it's really fiddly. So if you had dexterity issues with your hands, you weren't, maybe you had arthritis or you didn't have the kind of normal level of dexterity with your hands, these are going to be quite difficult and quite frustrating because of the small pieces. That's the only thing I'd say to be careful of, and then also to make sure that wherever you're doing it, but it doesn't matter if something pings off and goes somewhere, because I had a few times where something pinged off and I was trying to put it together, especially like there's a tiny little elbow piece that goes into this point in there, and it just didn't want to go in at one point. Another thing to mention then is I haven't used any of these stickers. I know I've not got loads of videos out at the minute, but the one sort of redeeming theme with me, to be honest, is I'm not a massive fan of stickers. Now, I might try and put some of these stickers on the outer suit, is the honest answer, but where there was reflective stickers, when we were looking at doing some of the bits with the eyes and bits around the actual Gundam head, I just didn't want to put them on. I know they're kind of prone to peeling. Not a massive fan of stickers, like I said. I quite like the water decals, and I'm going to see if I can get like another type of water decal, whether Bandai make them or maybe a third party makes them. I imagine somebody does now, to be honest, because of how the popularity of these kits. And as a last resort, I'll use these, but for now, yeah, I'm not going to be doing that, is the honest answer. But completely up to you whether you want to do it on yours. I don't think it detracts from the model at all, which is why I haven't done it. I'm quite happy with the way it's sort of turning out, to be fair. In relation to what you do get the extras such as a shield, the assault rifle, you get the bazooka, which you effectively can mount on the model itself or just leave off. I'll be honest, I quite like my model quite plain, but then when you have loaded them up and you have put the shield on the back and the bazooka on the back, it does look quite cool, to be fair. And it's a good way to store everything that you've got. You've obviously got 2 beam sabers, they look pretty cool as well. And you have sort of 3 pairs of hands. So you have a closed fist version, an open hand version, and then you have the ones that are made to put their fingers on triggers and stuff like that. Again, very cool, very easy to sort of remove and switch over without any massive drama. The only problem you've got is you've got to find somewhere to store them so you don't lose them all. So all in all, I really recommend this kit. It's absolutely brilliant, regardless of really if you're a beginner or you're a bit of an expert, you've been into modelling for years. I was really impressed with the techniques they've used in order to be able to get such an articulate small model. The RX-78 is just a classic Gundam aesthetic. This is the pinnacle of engineering for small models. It is the original sort of Gundam look that brought me into Gundam years and years ago. If you're going to have Gundam models, everybody needs one of these kind of models in their collection, and to be honest, you aren't going to go wrong with the RG-78 too. It took about 5 to 6 hours to get to the point where I'm at now, where I'm panel lining it. I'll show you some video of it panel lined and stuff, but I'll be dead honest, I'm quite happy with the quality of the model as it is straight out the box. And it's all down to those little bits and pieces where they've engineered it all so that it all fits together really well using all these different little multicolored pieces of plastic. There isn't really a need to paint them. I can get some people will want to, but there's definitely no need to paint them, and I think that's absolutely mega. For £33, thereabouts, I don't think you're going to find a better model. I compare it to some of the stuff I've got within Games Workshop, and for the intricacy of the plastic molds and what goes into it and the time you get out of it, it's very hard to be looking at it and not thinking it's value for money. I do think it's very, very good. I also think it's very hard to beat, so it's going to be interesting to see what the rest of the RG line is like. And then some of the bigger ones, I've got plans to do some of the master grades, and even the perfect grade version of the RX-78 is, yeah, that's definitely on my list of things I really want to do. So if you're interested in other models like that, stick around. There will be more Gundam models coming up. I also look at RC cars. I also really enjoy Lego. I really enjoy building Lego as one of my hobbies as well. So subscribe. If you like the video, please give it a like. If I gave you anything that was helpful and useful, then let me know. If you think I can improve in any way, or there's something you'd like to see, or you've got any questions about the model, ask me in the comments. I'll try and get back to you and let you know what my thoughts are. So until next time, I just say try and get some hobbying done if you can, and just look after yourselves and take care.